Hi guys, this is Crossy of Eclipse Gaming TV and welcome to part 4 of my English revival on FM 2014 with Manchester City. So I'm guessing you guys probably won't have jumped into this part way through, but you never know. But hopefully you've watched the other videos and will have figured out what I'm trying to do here. My plan is to go into Manchester City, use the Shakespeareans and try and transform and revive the English national team and do things right rather than having very few English players in our top division getting first team action. I'm going to try and do it all in one club. Went well for us last season, won the Premier League, were runners-up in the Champions League, won the FA Cup. So, all in all, things went particularly well, and after receiving a one-year contract, I've seen that become extended. So, we do have time to continue the project, and I was given a transfer budget of something in the region of £150 million to work with. And I'm going to show you, first of all, what I've done with it. Now, first thing was to try and get some of these players moved out that we had before, and there has been a cull, let's put it that way. You'll notice that one player that I am interested in his development, Denzel Bodo, has gone out on loan to Hartlepool. So you're flicking through, Jovetic went to Atletico Madrid on a free. Wasn't particularly worried about getting money for these guys, I just want them out the door. Simple thing. So you look at some of these transfer numbers and think, how did you let them go for that? Well, I didn't care. I had so much money to burn in the transfer window that I didn't know what to do with it anyway. So Dzeko gone to AC Milan for £10 million. Fernandinho gone to Real Madrid for £7.5 million. Got him very cheap. Nastasic gone for £5 million to Atletico. Yaya Toure gone to Real Madrid for £5 million. Kolarov gone on a free. Ridiculous, some of these, aren't they? Vincent Kompany, you might have remembered in the last part I wasn't too sure if I could keep him after being the overall highest rated in the Premier League, and I've let him go to title rivals Chelsea for £10 million. That probably wasn't the best club for him to go to. Would have liked a bit more money for it, but hey, we're trying to work something here. Negredo gone to PSG, £7.5 million. The biggest income came from Jesus Navas, who's gone to Liverpool for best part of £15 million. Gael Clichy, £2.2 million, gone to Liverpool. And you notice a couple of players, Demicolis, that was all sorted back in the last season. Thierry Ambrose gone on loan to Sheffield Wednesday. Ross Barkley gone on loan to Norwich. So he's going out there to get some first team experience. I'm just going to have a look at how long this loan deal is, because I can't remember offhand. 30. Okay, so he's there until the end of the season, but he's lined up to be a regular first team player, and I can recall him. So that's happened there. And players that I've bought in. So you remember I was talking about what I was going to do in the striking front, was talking about maybe getting Welbeck. No, I've gone a different route with it. Now, Danny Ings, start with him. From Burnley, age 22, 2-star at the moment, potential to go on to 3 stars. And I think I might have mentioned I've signed Danny Ings before in a previous version of FM, and he didn't develop quite as quickly as I would have liked. But let's have a look at the stats. Oh no, that's Carroll. We'll get to him in a bit. Let's have a look at the stats that he's bringing to the table. 14 finishing, 40 acceleration, 16 pace. Heading's not too bad either. Long shot's not too bad. Work rate pretty high. Basically what we've got here already with Danny Ings is a player that is pretty quick and has got a bit of a finish on him. And you'll notice from the information, I think, dubbed the new Michael Owen, which makes a lot of sense. You would imagine he'd be the ONS type player. And this is absolutely fine. With the right kind of partnership and with the right kind of service coming up to him, Ings is going to do a great job for us, because he knows where the goal is with that finishing stat. It could be better, yeah, okay, fair enough, but it could be a lot worse as well. And he's got the pace to be able to beat players, get himself into space, and create a few chances himself as well. So I'm quite happy with this. And you'll also, you may have noticed on Twitter a little campaign that was going where he gave his boots to a quite heavily disabled child when he was playing for Burnley, and stuff like that. That kind of sealed the deal for me. I was thinking, yeah, Ings is probably the player I'll go for, but I wasn't quite sure. And then to see him redeem football for once, redeem the reputation of professional football. I'm thinking, yeah, okay, this is the kind of person I need to have in my team. So I've gone with it. He's my first pickup, if you like. I went straight for it. Cost me £5 million, which for a young striker with potential to push forward, that's not too bad at all. So, big hopes for him. I think he may well become the surprise package. And in partnership, I've also got, had to pay £13 million for him, 25-year-old Andy Carroll. So, at the moment, 2.5 stars, unlikely to improve in the future either. So, you might be wondering why I've done this. Well, let's have a look at his stats. So, again, finishing not too bad. Pace, he hasn't got that, but jumping reach 17, heading 18, work rate, teamwork, all that good stuff, determination good, bravery very good. What we've got on Carroll is a target man. So you've got the little quick guy that knows where the goal is in Ings. You've got the big guy that can win the headers and can also score a few, as you've seen for the times when he has actually been fit. Put them up together, one in a target man role, one as the poacher, if you like. And then you got wide players pinging in balls left, right and centre, which we've got with Townsend and Ince, who can both quite easily beat the fullbacks. You got that McLaren kid, the 15-year-old that we talked about as well. These guys are not going to be short of service, and if Carroll can hold the ball up and then ping one through or flick it on the odd header, then chances are Ings is going to put that in the back of the net if he gets on the end of it. So I'm not necessarily going for the two best individual players here, and I'm not spending £40 million on a striker, but I'm going for two that I think will build the right combination based on the team that we've got, and will build the tactics around it. That's the idea anyway. Whether it will work out like that or not, we'll have to see going forward. Very pleased with this particular signing. Steven Corker, managed to get him. Cost me £15 million, but I'll take that. I was hoping you might be cheap if Cardiff dropped out of the Premiership, but they didn't, unfortunately. So, let's see. 2.5 stars at the moment, which puts him a whole star behind Lescott, but potential to go on to become a 4-star defender. Basically means he's going to end up in the same kind of level as Kompany. And if he's in the same kind of company as Kompany, well, he's not doing too bad there, is he? Let's put it that way. So, yeah, I've got him. Was sort of my main choice at centre-back. The other options available to me, Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, well, they were costing me substantially more than 13 or 15 million. I think we had one point a £60 million bid on the table for Phil Jones, and I decided at the end, even with the amount of dollar that I had, that I needed to spend in other areas. So we've left that alone in the end. Right, okay, other signings. 3 players coming from Southampton. Nathaniel Klein, 15 mil, 23-year-old right back. As you can see here, 3.5 stars, or 2.5 stars at the moment, sorry, potentially to become 4 stars, which puts him better than Michael Richards is currently. Good little pick up there as far as his stats. Good dribbling, very good crossing as well, and lots of pace. As you can tell with the Manchester City team, the way the formation sets up, we're very attacking. We bomb down the wings and we ping lots of balls into the box. We play very attacking football, and players with these kind of stats really help that. And tackling stat of 16 as well. He's not a terrible defender, this lad, and positioning very good. So he's got all of the elements that you need to succeed at both ends of the field going forward. And all that's going to happen as time goes on is he's going to polish and improve those over the next couple of years and become a very, very good player for us. We'll pretty much play every week at right back, the way the team goes. Luke Shaw. A lot of words been said about Luke Shaw. Potential to move on to be a 4.5 star player going forward. Currently 2.5. Can pretty much play anywhere up and down both wings. And there is talk that Luke Shaw at his age was a better player than a certain Gareth Bale was at his age comparatively. So See, Ryan Bertrand probably going to hold down the left-back spot, but that doesn't mean that I can't play Luke Shaw further up the field, which is exactly what I do start doing. I am recording this a little bit behind time, you could say. But I've had so much fun with this English Revival. I've been playing it as my main save, and I'm getting quite far ahead with the whole thing. Faster than I can record the videos for, because I'm pretty useless at that. Apologies. Let's see. So, acceleration 16, pace 16, so he's got the ability to beat people. Dribbling of 15. His crossing leaves a bit to be desired, as does, say, the finishing stats and the long shot stats, if we really want him to turn into an attacking threat. But for the time being, before he develops, lots of things to work on here. Again, tackling half decent, positioning very good. So, he's already got some good things going for him. And I think the main thing for him is I'm going to push him more into this attacking midfield role than I will do at left back. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see what players I pick up in the future. Also from Southampton, we've got this lad, Ryan Seeger, 18-year-old. Good finishing stats, decent pace, and a good long shot stat as well. Flair 15. Players with high flair can be very, very exciting and also very, very frustrating. I've had a few in the past, and when it goes well, it's brilliant. And there's also times when they have some absolute shockers. Reason I got for him, potentially to become a leading Premier Division striker in the future. At 4.5 stars, it puts him 1 star behind Aguero, which isn't a bad place to be. And going forward, he will be a much stronger prospect than Ings or Carroll will be when they fully develop. As for Sado, well, Sado's got the edge, but we could be looking at potentially Seeger and Berahino as my front two. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. But we could be a few seasons into that, and I don't tend to go very far with these saves, so hopefully there's plenty of interest in it, and I'm inspired to keep going all the way. And now we've also got this lad, Nathaniel Chalobah. So 4.5 star potential central midfielder. I'm also able to play in a number of positions. So I've got him. I've had to fork out £35 million for him. But I mean, a good thing with him is he can play at centre back, and I'm much happier playing a weak player at centre back because I know that we can score one more than any other team out there, pretty much, apart from the top guys. So he could get quite a bit of action here and get the first team football that he needs to develop and push forward. But the end game is for him to become a 4.5 star central midfielder and have him in there as competition for the likes of Barkley and Ledson, for example. Give us that extra dimension, give us that extra depth. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting how that develops. He's going to play a lot of football. He probably won't play that much football in central mid. But, you know, plenty of time. Also, Alex McCarthy signed at goalkeeper, 2.5 star at the moment, potential to become 3.5 stars. He is only, well, he's 24, so he's only a year or two behind Joe Hart. He is cover. I'm not looking at him to take over the gloves going forward. He is more because we had the issue of no cover at all last season and me having to sign 40-year-old David James and stick him in as a half-star rating. And that was the best and only option I had available to me. So we're not going back to that again. And that's the main reason I've got Alex McCarthy. Was throwing in a bid for Jack Butland, but as you can see, the money ran out. So I went with McCarthy and splurged what was left of the 12.5 mil. And left it there. Andy Green signed from West Ham, right back, 16-year-old, 1 star at the moment, potential to develop onto a 4 star. Just going to keep him in the under 21s for a bit. We may well see him develop and come forward. We'll see. And this wasn't in my plan at all, but it was suggested that Jack Wilshere might be available for £30 million, 4-star rated midfielder. Potential to improve and go on to 4.5, which puts him at the level of David Silva. And if you've got him developing into the likes of a David Silva and at age 22, with some of the players that I've got going forward in Ledson, in Barkley, in Chalobah, I could have one heck of a midfield and a lot of competition going forward. So I've gone for it. And then with Wiltshire, it means that with the players that I've lost in the midfield area in Fernandinho and Yaya Toure, for example, that were playing quite a bit of games simply because we needed some kind of strength in there, we've now got Wiltshire who can fill that role, and he can also slot into either of the wide positions as well if I want to make sure that I'm getting all my midfielders some action in the centre. So prospects there. Wasn't planning on that at all, but considering that I've made some different moves up front with Ings and Carroll, it meant that I'm not spending that kind of money on like a Welbeck, for example, and opened up the doors to make a big money signing in Wiltshire instead. So that's what's happened. And also, just to give you a heads up, returning to the team, Gareth Barry, I've offered him a new contract. He is 2.5 star rated midfielder, but has got that wealth of experience, so he's going to be a bit of a role player for us and get some action going forward. So next update I'll give you on this will be about 10 games in. We've got Chelsea in the Charity Shield, so we're looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing this team in action. Thank you very much. This has been Crossy of Eclipse Gaming TV. If you've enjoyed this series, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. Lots of stuff coming in from Football Manager, not just for England, but for Dover Athletic. I've got a series running at the moment, and also other games coming up on the channel. And also, any comments, maybe players that I've missed out on and should have picked up, maybe players to look out for grabbing in January, let me know. And also, if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. Thank you very much.